Hi, welcome to this rather chilly and windy edition of Garden Guns. It's a cold mid-January day and I apologise for the rather low sun. Well, not that I can do anything about it, but it means that half of my face is probably going to be dark and the other half will be bright white. Anyway, less of the excuses. What are we here to talk about today? Right, we are here to talk about this little beauty. And for those of you that don't recognise what this is, or don't know what this is the Weihrauch HW99s. And this particular rifle is mine. I own this one. It's not one I'm testing or anything like that. I've actually bought it. Right. Quick sort of bit of history on the 99 and the 99s. If I get anything wrong, which I probably will do, for those of you in the know, please correct me in the comments below. I greatly appreciate it, because I really would rather have an accurate story rather than what I've managed to pick up from the internet. Anyway, so the 99S came out of the HW99, which was known as the HW50 in the rest of the world. And for the rest of the world, the HW50 was just a nice sort of mid-power break barrel shooter. You know, it was there for plinking and general target work and just for the joy of shooting. But unfortunately for Weihrauch in the UK market, you know, we wanted, by then the 12 foot-pound rule had come in and everybody wanted their rifles doing, you know, 11 foot-pounds. And due to the fact that the HW90 was HW99, sorry, was basically a sub 10 foot-pound rifle, and it didn't feel particularly powerful in the days before chronographs were easily available. It struggled a little bit, as I understand it, for sales. Having said that, for those in the know, it was a generally sought after air rifle because it was such a sweet shooter, and I do understand that it was tunable, so a few people did manage to tune it up and get it up to a reasonable, or get it the power level up to a reasonable level to allow it to be used out in the field. Anyway, I'm not sure if it was Weihrauch that took notice of that, or whether it was them taking notice of the fact that the rifle wasn't basically making many sales in the UK. But they changed the length of the stroke and they changed the size of the cylinder, and they managed to coke a few more foot pounds out of it and produced the HW99S, which is known as the HW50s in the rest of Europe. And there have been sort of several iterations of it, different designs of stock mainly, I think. And this particular one is the current version. As you can tell that by the sort of the cutout on the rear of the stock here. So let's talk about this particular rifle. We'll do, butt to tip, and I'll talk you through it. So we've already talked about this scalping here. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I'm also not a huge fan of this incredibly angular cheek piece. For those of you that might have watched Red Dwarf, it reminds me of Crichton the Mechanoid's forehead a little bit. It's not the prettiest of things. But after that, it sort of all starts to come together, and we move into the pistol grip, and the pistol grip's really nice. It's got a nice amount of sort of swelling to it, and the checkering on it is absolutely superb. It's really grippy. Provides a really nice texture, and just a general overall, you know, a really good feel. I like it. For those of you with the larger hands, you might find it a little on the small side, a little thin, but for those of us of slightly less stature, and for, you know, the younger or the ladies among us, ladies, who am I kidding? I think, looking at my demographics, all men that watch my videos anyway. For those of you looking for a shooter for your kids, your older kids, your teenagers, or something for your wife, then this is absolutely superb in terms of its overall size and fit, feel and weight. Anyway, into the trigger. It's the standard record trigger, the Weihrauch trigger, which is absolutely superb. I like it. I mean, it's, yeah, industry standard, copied by many, beaten by none, as far as I'm concerned, on springers. And then we get into the foregrip, and the foregrip has got a little bit of chamfering on it. It tapers in really, really nicely. Once again, the checkering is absolutely superb on it. Provides a really nice texture and a really good grip. And you've got a really nice sort of embossing of the Weihrauch name in the wood as well, which you know, even though this is their sort of entry level, I don't want to use the word budget because it's not ridiculously cheap, but it's also not as expensive as a 35 or an 80. But it is, you know, it is their entry level adult air rifle, and I think the touches on it just give it that slightly sort of elevated terms of quality over, say, something like a Gamma or even to be honest, a BSA. Yeah, I hate to say it, but yeah, I think, yeah, I do prefer the 99 to most of the offerings from BSA at the moment. Anyway, we've got standard Weihrauch crossbolt safety on it. It is, yes, very much a Marmite thing. I know a lot of people don't like an automatic safety, and without a shadow of a doubt, you know, for those of you that have shot these rifles, you will have forgotten to switch it off at some point and pulled the trigger and gone, which I certainly have. Personally though, it doesn't really bother me. I quite like having that automatic safety, especially as I tend to use this rifle for when friends and family that don't normally shoot. I sort of bring this one out due to its sort of lighter weight, its easy manageability, and yeah, I get people to plink with this more than anything else. Yeah, it's, in my opinion, it's kind of a handy, especially for a beginner rifle. I think that automatic safety is kind of a handy feature. But anyway, so you've got the 11mm scope rail as well with holes for the rest of studs on it. And then you've got Weihrauch fore and aft and foresights, and these are the standard Weihrauch fare. On the 99 though, it only comes with the one insert for the foresight, and that's a standard post insert. But you know, you can go online and buy extra ones if you want you want a different sight presentation on it. Having said that, for those of you that are eagle-eyed, you will have noticed that I've actually upgraded. Well, I don't know if you call it an upgrade. I certainly do for my eyes. Anyway, upgraded the the aft and foresight to ones that have true glow. They've got the fibre optic true glow sights on them, and that's purely for the reason that I'm getting really old, and my eyes are not behaving the way. Whoa! It's going to be interesting doing the shooting portion. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and I struggle to keep a consistent point of aim on, especially on paper targets now. It's a little bit easier with, you know, little tin soldiers for when I'm plinking or something along those lines, but when I'm trying to shoot paper, yeah, I'm struggling these days. The fibre optic sights have made a difference. They have made it easier to get a decent sight picture, but it's actually now it's looking down range and yeah, trying to keep the sights on the same place when the same place is going all fuzzy and blurry. But anyway, right, what else can I say about this? I think that's it. I think that's all I've got on this. What I'll do is I'll go down range, set the cameras up down range, come back and try and do the shooting portion. Yeah, in this rather strong wind. I think it's doing about 10 miles an hour at the moment, so it's it's gusting 10, I think. So yeah, not looking too great. But anyway, see you in a minute. Right, okay, here we go. 10 shots on a slightly cold and breezy February day. It's 15 meters, RWS Superdomes, 14.5 grains. God, try and get this done before my hands freeze. Okay. Woo. Right, let's go and see how I've done. Oh. Right, so how did we do? You know, we did okay, 15 metres. It's not a bad group for 15 metres. I don't really know what happened there. Sort of story of my life on camera anyway. I always seem to end up with one going somewhere I didn't expect. But I mean, it's all underneath a thumbnail. Having said that, I don't feel as though I've done the rifle justice. I was shooting groups like that at 20 metres this summer. In fact, actually, if anything, I was shooting them a bit smaller. So I don't feel as though that's, you know, that's me, not the rifle. That's me, my poor Springer technique and my old eyes not really doing this rifle any justice. I know how good this can be. I know how well I've shot it when I first got it. Yeah. To the point, I think I'm going to put a scope on the top and get a bit of practice once it's got a bit warmer. You know, I'll put a scope on the top in the summer and have a bit of a plink out to sort of 30 metres, and maybe I'll do an update video. If you fancy that, if you're interested, then let me know. Comment in the section below, and maybe it'll give me a kick in the arse to get it done. But anyway, so summing up. The 99S, what do I think? Well, I think the easiest way to answer that question is to say that if the government came along and took all my rifles away and said I could only have one, it would be the 99S in 2.2. Not that the 177's bad, I just think the 2.2 is a slightly sweeter shooting rifle off the shelf. You know, the nice thing about this rifle is it's light. It doesn't require, an air source. You don't have to, have a tank or a compressor to be able to fill it. You literally can pick it up and tin of pellets, go straight out the door, and either knock down tin cans, or once you've got a bit of time behind the trigger and you're shooting it well enough, it's a good pesting rifle out to sort of 30, and if you're really good, out to sort of 40 odd meters, you'll be able to take stuff out with this without any problems. It's a great tool, and it ticks all the boxes. It retails out for 280 odd pounds, I think, at the moment, new. I personally believe it's worth the money. I think it's worth saving pennies for that, to be able to get something of this quality. And as far as I'm concerned, it is quality. I know that there are people out there that have had issues recently with the current production standards that Weihrauch are putting out there. I don't know whether that's just a sign of the times. Everybody, prices are going up, everybody's trying to keep costs down. I don't know. All I know is that I've owned two 99s over the last couple of years, this being the second one. First one I bought new, the second one, this one was bought second hand, but they were both of the current sort of production run, or this current iteration of the rifle, and I've not had any problems with the quality control on it from my perspective. But having said that, that old adage, there's no smoke without fire. So there's obviously guys out there that have had a few issues, but I think you could probably say that about anything these days, be it cars, fridges, TVs, you know, you're always going to get a lemon somewhere down the line. Anyway, that aside, would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think this is probably one of the best entry-level springers. Admittedly, as I say, 280 quid isn't a small chunk of change, but I think it's worth it, and for that entry into the higher quality springer market, you just can't, I don't think you can go wrong with this. As I say, if I could only have one rifle, it would be a 99s in 2.2. And I think that's a great place to end this. Thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video. It'll probably be about a month or so. I think, you know, if I can, I'm going to try and get a video done every month to sort of 6 weeks. But if I don't manage it, I apologise. Please don't hold me to it. I'm going to do my best, but work and life does tend to get in the way of these things sometimes. But anyway, once again, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next one, please stay safe and take it easy. All the best.